It has been a short week for us on the Israel Brief, but we will be back to normal next week as you can find your top stories from Israel right here on the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land, hosted by me, Rolene Marks, as we resume normal service every Monday to Thursday. So before we rush off into the weekend, let's take a look at those top stories. We do have breaking news coming in from the United Kingdom, and that is that Prime Minister Liz Truss has resigned, and this makes her the shortest serving Prime Minister in the history of the United Kingdom, serving only 44 days, and King Charles has been notified. Quite extraordinary, if you ask me, and it remains to be seen what will happen to her promise to move the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. I guess that's all up in the air. But the bigger question is, who will replace her? But let's take a look at those top stories happening in Israel. And we begin with news that the Palestinian terrorist who was suspected of killing 18-year-old soldier Noa Lazar just 10 days ago was killed last night as he tried to commit another act of terror, this time by firing into the entrance of Ma'ale Adumim. Uday Tamimi was part of a manhunt since the brutal murder of 18-year-old Noa Lazar, and her family, once they were notified of his death, said that justice had finally been served. Earlier this week, we brought you the story that the Australian Foreign Ministry had walked back their recognition of West Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Now, they have also very quietly removed recognition of East Jerusalem as the hope for Palestinians to have a capital in that part of the city. Foreign Minister Penny Wong says she expressed her regrets at the way that it was handled, saying that she understands that it caused a lot of distress to Jews around the world and that Jerusalem has a particular sensitivity, but reiterated that the final status of Jerusalem, at least in her administration's belief, is subject to final negotiations between Israelis and Palestinians. She also expressed regret that this happened during the festival of Simchat Torah and caused enormous distress to Jews around the world. She did acknowledge that Jerusalem has particular sensitivity for Jews and also for the international community. The IDF announced this morning that they had started a drill, this time in the north of the country. Now, this had been planned for a while and does not follow any particular assessments, despite the fact that Defense Minister Benny Gantz put the IDF on high alert just about 3 weeks ago, before the maritime agreement between Israel and Lebanon was reached. Thank goodness this agreement went forward without any kind of conflagration, and it also follows news that a drill in the south of the country that saw the IDF joined by emergency personnel as well as the police forces had come to an end. So if you are in the north of Israel and you do see military activity, please know that it is part of an ongoing drill. And our final story, and I really believe that this is an important story, we carry on with the story of Kanye West, or Ye, or whatever he calls himself these days. Veteran broadcaster Piers Morgan invited him onto his show, Piers Uncensored, for what is believed to be quite a heated discussion. Now, Piers has been one of the most vocal condemners of anti-Semitism. He was one of the first out of the box to condemn Ye's statements. You can read all about them online on our website, and also hold him accountable. Now, West, according to a preview, is reported to have walked off the set before a lot of effort got him to come back. Now, during Morgan's fierce questioning of him and his anti-Semitic comments, he reportedly called Piers a Karen and attacked him for his what he sees is a lack of business prowess. But did he apologize? Now, the full interview hasn't been screened yet. We have seen a preview, and he is reported to have only said that he is sorry for the distress it caused some families and that hurt people. But did he apologize for his anti-Semitic comments? According to the preview, no, he didn't. Why is the story important? It is important because so many people, including many Jews, have dismissed Kanye West's comments as the rantings of somebody on the verge of a nervous breakdown and that he is bipolar and has mental health issues. I know many people who suffer from bipolar. None of them seem to express racism and anti-Semitism. And Kanye West has admitted to taking his medication and being fully aware of his comments. This is important because judging by the comments on coverage of his anti-Semitic diatribes, there is a groundswell of support for this kind of anti-Semitism. Words matter. I've said this time and time again that the Holocaust did not start out of a vacuum. It started with words, and I don't believe I am being over dramatic. We have seen a substantial rise in anti-Semitism over the last couple of years. And when somebody like Kanye West, who has a following of 31 million people just on Twitter, discounting his other social media platforms, when he makes comments like this and they go unchecked and they go unanswered and we brush them under the carpet, we are creating an environment for hate to thrive. I really call on everybody, not just Jews, but our allies as well. Enough is enough. We saw what happened just 75, 80 years ago. We said never again, and never again is now. We cannot allow the Kanye Wests of the world to go unchecked. We have to show up and show up now. So this brings us to the end of today's edition of the Israel Brief. But don't forget that if you're looking for reading material, look no further than our website at www.layoftheland.online. We are also on Facebook. Our channel is Lottle Site. Yes, it's not Lay of the Land, it's at Lottle Site. Give us a like, give us a follow, share our content. We are on YouTube. Our channel is at the Israel Brief. Please click on the red subscribe button and don't forget to share the Israel Brief YouTube clips with all of your friends. Let's get the news from Israel out to as many people as possible. And we're on Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. I wish you all a peaceful and a safe weekend wherever you are in the world. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for tuning in to the Israel Brief with me, Rolene Marks. And don't forget to join me again on Monday as I bring you your top stories making headlines in Israel.